Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Wednesday, October 25th, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to attend a ribbon cutting ceremony for Metropolitan Dermatology, a new doctor's office opening up in the city of Elizabeth at 469 Morris Avenue. And later that evening at 7 o'clock, the YWCA's annual Empty Place at the Dinner Table. The event will be held at Kane University in the Miron Student Center. It's located at 1000 Morris Avenue. The YWCA comes together every October and puts on a play about empty plate at the table, honoring those victims of domestic violence during the past year. On Saturday, October 28th at 11 o'clock, I'm going to join members of the Department of Health and Human Services for a breast cancer awareness class. It's going to be held at the Miller Evans Logan Recreational Center, 161-163 First Street. For more information on this class, please contact 908-820-4246. This spin class is extremely exciting, and the people work out really hard, as there's also an educational opportunity for breast cancer awareness during the month of October. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124. Please stay with us after these messages. We're going to talk about community access and the great work they do in our city.
Offering everything you could want from college, including a life. Kane University.
Welcome back to Our City, where I am pleased to be joined by Miss Joanne Oppelt, the Assistant Executive Director of Business Development at Community Access Unlimited. Joanne, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mayor.
Thanks for coming back, too, by the way.
Had a good time last time. Thought I'd try it out again.
And Sharon Mohry.
Hi.
How are you, Sharon?
Very good.
And you're a member of the Community Access Unlimited Agency.
Yes, for 26 years.
26 years. And we're going to talk about some of the opportunities you've had there in a few minutes.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on, Sharon.
Thank you.
So, Joanne, welcome back to the show. You've been with Community Access for how long now?
10 years.
10. So please tell our viewers, some may be unfamiliar with what the good work you do, what exactly the agency does.
Well, we support people with disabilities, all kinds of disabilities, to live in the community and to give back so that they can become productive, tax-paying citizens who are members of their neighborhoods, members of their community, and we do everything from housing to recreation to advocacy to life skills training to employment skills training.
And Sharon, you are the first time on the show, right?
Yes, I'm a little nervous.
So don't worry about it, Sharon, so am I. So tell us, Sharon, a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in Community Access.
I like the people. I got in the agency. I'm there 26 years. I like the people. I like the counselors. I like my friends.
And it's a good social opportunity for you
Yes,
as well.
I go on activities with the rec events and everything.
So how do you work with Joanne?
We're buddies.
We're buddies for 15 years.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And Joanne, National Disability Employment Awareness Month is October or November?
It's in October.
Okay.
It was established by Congress in 1945, and it's a time to really celebrate both the contributions that people with disabilities can make to the workplace environment, as well as celebrate the employers who hire people with disabilities and have a very diverse workforce.
And how do you do that with drying up of federal dollars? It gets more and more difficult, doesn't it?
Well, people with disabilities have a lot to give, and the kinds of jobs that they have run the gamut from anything people without disabilities can do. So they do scientists or researchers or retail or back office or maintenance or whatever kind of job there is out there. And what studies have found is that, number one, their retention is longer, so employers don't have so many overhead costs in terms of people leaving and retraining costs, that There's a better safety rate. People with disabilities are more conscious of safety issues than not, so there's less worker compensation claims and things like that. And that once they do their job, they do it very, very well. The quality of their work is excellent. So with the minor accommodations that a person with disabilities might need, employers are finding it really, really, really in their best interest that it hits the bottom line to employ people with disabilities.
And Sharon, I see the Shoprite shirt you have on.
Yeah,
So
I've been there 20 years.
you've worked for the Shoprite for 20 years.
Yes.
In which one?
I'm in Clark.
You're in Clark. And what do you do there for 20
I
years?
work in returns, and if they didn't have me, there wouldn't be no returns.
You make sure the returns get back in the right spot, right?
Right.
20 years.
Yes.
And did you get that job with the help of Community Access?
Yes, I did.
You did. That's pretty good. So you like it over
And
there?
I got a buddy at Shoprite. I got Laura for 20 years. She's my buddy.
And she helps you out there?
Yes, if I didn't have Laura or Donna make, I wouldn't have my job.
And they help you facilitate every day?
Yeah, and I'm a good worker. I'm a great worker.
You ever miss? You're always there, huh?
I'm mostly there and on time and everything.
Good for you, Sharon. So, Joanne, how many disabled individuals are part of the workforce? Do you have those numbers, or mostly in Union County, or?
Well, nationally, there's about 18 million people with disabilities, about 25% of the workforce.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Recognizing people with disabilities, which we do during this month, is it important, and what kind of social aspect does that convey upon them?
Yes, it is, because it kind of allows for equal status, and it recognizes their contributions being just as important as the contributions of people without disabilities, whatever kind of disability they have. You remember A Beautiful Mind, and they had a mental health disability, but he contributed a lot to society. So it's not necessarily always obvious that somebody has a disability. What companies have also found is that in this time of the millennials, where there's a lot of corporate values are important to millennials as well as to other people, but particularly to millennials, is that people with employers with a diverse workforce tend to have higher employee satisfaction as well as customer satisfaction.
And on that issue, what are the benefits to the employers for hiring people with disabilities?
Well,
you talked about how they don't have a high turnover rate.
Yep. They're dedicated. They love their jobs. They're there for a long period of time. They help the morale in the diversity of the place, like I just mentioned. There are also some tax credits available, or some tax advantages available, depending on the type of accommodations that need to be made.
And hiring people with disabilities, are most businesses open to that, or is it a struggle sometimes?
Sometimes it's a struggle because they mistakenly believe that it will cost more in terms of health care benefits or in terms of the accommodations that they need to make. But again, they found that those are unfounded, so that businesses who are really open to having people with disabilities are really finding it in their best interest to do that.
So Joanne, tell me how you do that. How do you approach a business owner and say, I have some folks, they have this disability, and we'd like you to hire them, or we'd like you to give them an opportunity?
Well, we go through our employment department, and they make connections with the employers in the community. We have a pretty large community network of employers that we work with. They tell us when they're hiring and what they look for, and we act as the broker between what the person with disabilities wants to do and what the employer is looking for, and kind of make that match. Then we take the person with disabilities, and before we present them to the employer, we train them, we give them job coaches, we give them some job sampling, so it's a really good match, so that hopefully somebody will stay there for a long period of time, and it will be satisfactory on both sides of the table. And then when we make a match, voila, we get somebody who's been at Shoprite for 20 years. I think Sharon came in through our employment program.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on my job for 20 years.
And Sharon,
And I love my job.
Sharon, what are your hours? Do you work during the day? You work nights or
I work every Sunday.
every Sunday? You work there. What? For
11 to 5
11 to 5 on
and
Sundays.
6 hours.
6 hours.
And I get time and a half, and I love that.
So you work every Sunday.
Yes.
11 to 5, and you handle all the returns
Yes.
that come in. And is the store crowded on Sundays?
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people there on Sundays, huh?
Yeah, and I have a lot of friends in the agency, like Danielle. I've been her friend for 17 years, and I have a friend, Mary, that is very nice to me. So I'm happy.
Very good. Very good. So Joanne, how do we change the perceptions of the business community? That must be a struggle all the time to say, hey, so-and-so is just as good as the other person and can do a job and is probably going to stay with you longer.
I think it's getting people out in the community, getting on public shows like this one where Sharon can come and tell her story, where to get in touch with, go to workplaces who are diverse, for example, Wawa, Walmart, Swan Motel, those types of places who employ people with disabilities, to really see them in action and to really get to know people with disabilities. They can be any age. As you age, your chances of having a disability are higher than when you're younger, and really getting rid of the typical stereotypes in terms of attending events or any type of contact that we can have that integrates people with disabilities and people without disabilities, to get rid of that stigma of having a disability, because it's really nothing more than a health problem, that we all have health problems.
Well, the business community is always reluctant to move in that direction, though.
They are, but again, there's the safety issues are better. There's less workman's comp with people with disabilities. There's less. Once people are accommodated to their job, they're there for a long period of time. Employers are finding it really cost beneficial to hire with people with disabilities.
How many members of Community Access do you think you have employed?
Oh gosh, probably around 100.
Has that
Yeah.
number increased over the years since you've been doing this, or?
It has. As the agency has grown, so has our member base. We call the people that we serve members, and they go out into the community. We also, we've grown, which is the main reason why we do this. We also employ about 7%. We have a workforce of about 1,100 people, and about 7% of them are people with disabilities.
So Sharon, tell me what a normal day is like for you at Shoprite. What do you do when you get there? Do you punch a clock?
I punch in, then I go in the internet and get my card, and then I start doing the returns.
And do you do it in one location, or do you go up and down the aisles with the returns?
I go up and down, then I go and get it out of the bins, and then I go on the floor and do the returns.
And you do this all day?
Yes.
For 6 hours?
For 15-minute break, and then I go back and do it again.
Okay. What do you do on your break, Sharon?
Just relax and have something to eat.
Okay. And do you live in Clark?
No, I live in Elizabeth. I travel by bus all the time when I go to work.
So you get on a bus and you're always on time, and you get to Clark to work.
Yeah.
Okay. And you take a bus home?
Yes.
Okay.
I like to travel. That's my thing.
You like it a lot.
Yes, I do.
So, do you do anything else? Any other jobs, Sharon, or that's just it?
I go to a day program, Daybreak. That I like that. I got friends there, and I got counselors there. The best one is Evie and Felicia, and the coordinator.
So what do you do during the day program?
I play bingo. I do arts and craft.
What's your favorite?
Arts and craft.
That's your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing in work? Is it when you stock the shelves or put the returns up? Is there Anything you're like, I wonder why all of this came back, or wonder why that came back?
When it came back yesterday, it was so busy.
Tell me about that.
It was filled up to the top, and then she gave me cans to put on the shelf. It was so busy. When I got home, I was so tired I went to sleep.
Do you rather be busy at work, or?
Yes, it keeps me good.
So the busy days go faster?
Yes.
That's good. That's
Then
good.
I punch out and I go home.
And you take the bus. Where's the bus get you? Right near the Shoprite?
Yes.
Right there at the corner there?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to run some commercials, and then we're going to come back and talk more about not only your job, but community access as well after these commercials.
Okay.
Okay. Please stay with us after these messages. We'll be back more about community access and employment opportunities for the disabled here in the city of Elizabeth.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started. Welcome back to our city, where I'm joined by Joanne and Sharon from Community Access. And Joanne, I want to pick up with you. Who else works with Community Access Unlimited members? Who else employs members? We know Shoprite does. Who else do you work with?
Swan Motel is one, Target, Walmart. There is a member who works in an animal shelter up in Essex County. It's a variety of places.
Tell us what some of those members do. I mean, do they clean at the Swan Motel, or they work in the office? What do some of these folks do?
Yes, at the Swan Motel, they're part of the cleaning crew and clean the rooms and change the sheets and those sorts of things. At the animal shelter, they calm the animals and clean the pens and things like that. At Walmart, they're greeters. At Target, they're sales associates.
So it's a different.
It's whatever. We've had people work at, Burger King and McDonald's before and be food servers, or work in cleaning areas as well. We have people at the office, at the Community Access Office, who are part of secretarial, who do the shredding and do some of the filing and things like that. So
some of the folks actually work at Community Access
About
as well.
7% of our workforce is people with disabilities.
Sharon, so tell me what your boss thinks of you.
She loves me. I do a good job for her. If she don't tell me what to do, I do it on my own.
So you don't need direction. You'll go in and do it on your own.
Yes.
Not everybody's like that, Sharon.
Right.
Some people just sit around.
They call me the best. They call me Queen R. That's Queen of the Return.
Queen R. You like that nickname?
Yeah. Laura calls me that.
Oh, yeah? Queen R.
Yeah, Laura and Debbie calls me that.
Well, Laura and Debbie, even if they don't live in Elizabeth, they can watch this show on YouTube.
Yeah, they gonna.
They're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Especially when you mention their names.
Yeah.
Right? So there must be a preparation aspect to your job as well, Joanne, in working with some of the clients to prepare them to find the jobs and what to do. I mean, Sharon's there 20 years, but I'm sure the first time she went there, she was probably a little nervous.
Yeah.
How do you overcome
Yes,
that?
I was.
How do you overcome that, Sharon, the nervous part when you first started there?
I just talk to somebody or just calm down.
Yeah, because you said you were nervous coming on the show, but you're doing fine.
Yeah.
You're like a star.
I've never been on TV.
No.
You are now. You can't say that anymore.
Scratch that off the box, right?
Yeah.
So, Joanne, how do you work with folks in preparation for them to achieve assimilation into a job?
So somebody will come in and we will do a vocational skills assessment and a life skills assessment and a survey to find out what the goals and the values and the interests are, as well as what the skills are. And then we will work with them on if they need some help with interpersonal skills, or if they need some help with resume writing, or if they need some help with interviewing skills. We give them vocational skills education. We have an academy for continuing education where they can pick up some work-related skills in theater or jewelry making or math or reading or something like that. And then we also have a job sampling program where they can go out with a support counselor and sample a job for 2 to 6 weeks and pick a job that way. There's job coaching where once a person is hired, a job coach from Community Access will go with them to the work site and help them to integrate into the rhythm of the workplace and be able to do their job. That can last for however long it needs to last for, and then there's follow along as well. So what we really try to do is make it as easy as possible for both the person with the disabilities and the employer to make the optimal match so that they can continue in a long-term relationship.
So in that process, it's a process of trust as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to work both ways. Sharon, you told me about your supervisor, but so when you're not working, you were telling me during the break that you go to a place called Medieval Times.
Yeah, with the agency.
With the agency you've gone to.
Every month. I really like that. That's my favorite event.
But you had to eat with your hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went there once and they didn't give you a fork or a knife.
And I'm saving up to go to Walt Disney in May.
Really?
Yes.
That'll be fun.
I love Walt Disney.
Yeah, so
I
do I.
want to go to Walt Disney.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
With a friend.
Yeah, you got to wear a lot of sunscreen.
Yeah.
It gets really hot there. How can employers, Joanne, work with you to hire members?
Well, they can call the agency, 908-354-3040. They can get a hold of me, Joanne Oppelt. They can also get a hold of Frida McKinney, who is our Assistant Executive Director of Employment, and we will be happy to explore relationships with them. Right now, we are working with the Gateway Regional Chamber of Commerce in terms of trying to set up business relationships and networking opportunities. I'm working with Citicor, who's trying to bring jobs back into New Jersey that have been outsourced overseas. There might be a pipeline of employment opportunities for people in Union County, particularly people with disabilities, because they're interested in doing a diverse workforce. I'm also working with a newly formed foundation called the Scarlet Foundation. It is set up by Scarlet Ryan Marketing firm, and their idea is to pay it forward. They work with small businesses as their specialty, and a lot of small businesses can't afford their marketing. So what their idea is to have a grant to the small businesses for the marketing, and then have the business give back to the community, particularly to youth who are involved in the child welfare system, to have internship opportunities and to have mentoring opportunities and to have job opportunities for those people. So we're very interested in innovative things like the Scarlet Foundation is doing. We're also interested in traditional things, just if people want to employ people with disabilities in whatever jobs are already there.
So do employers provide you with a work schedule they're looking to fill, and how many hours do members typically work a week? And we know Sharon works every Sunday. Is that the norm, or is it longer or shorter?
It varies. It really varies. Yes, it's whatever the employer is looking for. Sometimes it's 25 hours a week, sometimes it's 40 hours a week, sometimes it's 1 day a week, sometimes it's part-time 3 days a week. It really depends on what job is needed to do for the employer.
And that usually works out well when you go back to the clients and say, hey, we got this hour for 6 days a week, or this for 3 days a week. And so what's the longest amount of time a member of Community Access has worked at a location? 20 years. Is anybody at a location longer than that?
I don't think so.
No, I'm the first one, Joanne.
Yeah.
You're the first one in this program 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And they've liked you ever since.
Yeah.
Right?
Why don't you tell them about your 20th anniversary, what they did for you at Shoprite?
Oh, for the 20-year anniversary, they had a luncheon for me in New York. They had a lunch, like chicken and stuff, and they gave me a certificate, and then they gave me a prize to pick out. I got a duffel bag. They really gave me something real nice.
In New York was the lunch?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And who
I
went?
got a picture taken with the people 20 years. And the picture's in my house, and it's on my TV stand.
So the employees who've worked for the company for 20 years, you were with all of them?
Yes.
And how was that?
Really good.
Where was the luncheon in New York?
I'm not sure, but it was in New York.
It was in. So you all went over
My
there.
friend took me that I know for 20 years, Phyllis. She took me.
Okay. Phyllis is another one's got to watch
Yeah,
this show.
for 20 years I know
You mentioned
her.
them all, Sharon.
Yeah.
You got them all in there. They all got an honorable mention.
And I have a friend in community access, Michelle Razov. I've been her friend for 32 years.
Very good. Did you grow up in Elizabeth?
No.
No?
Hoboken.
Hoboken, okay. So what kind of events does Community Access Unlimited sponsor as well as participate in?
We, well, the Disability Employment Awareness Month, the National Independent Living Conference, trade organizations, things like that. We also have a gala coming up on November 2nd.
I'm going to that.
Which is about 600
Good,
people.
so am I.
People with disabilities, people without disabilities. We have a number of events throughout the year. If people are more interested in our events, I would suggest calling us. Ask for me, Joanne Oppelt. Our number is 908-354-3040. I'm extension 4209. Or you can go to our website, www.cauNJ.org.
Joanne, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show and talk with us about community access. And good luck in this program. I think it's terrific that you work with employers throughout the agency in order to get clients jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Sharon, you were an enjoyable aspect of all of the shows I've done. You explain not only what you do every day, but how you get accomplished. And your biggest attribute is you're always on time for work.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on TV for the first time.
Okay.
And make sure all of these women you mentioned watch the shows.
Okay.
Because it's the only time they're going to get a plug on TV.
Okay.
Right? Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you. For Sharon Mohry, Joanne Oppelt, I'm Chris Ballwage. We'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
Sometimes you learn by helping others learn. Kane University.